So as I had stated earlier, my name is Joseph Nguthiru. My friend and my colleague Charles will be presenting with me, together with me. I'll be sharing the screen. So our small innovation is somewhere in the middle of being a campus project and a startup, somewhere in that gray area. We are calling it Hyapack, and what we're doing is that we are converting weeds to forests, as you're going to see. Yes, sorry. So we look at the problem. So as most of you know, water hyacinth is I don't know if you know this, but water hyacinth is the world's most problematic aquatic weed. The reason behind this is that water hyacinth causes problems in marine transportation, fishing, irrigation, hydropower, water treatment, and also breeds insects like mosquitoes and malaria. And in several places, water hyacinth there's been a correlation between water hyacinth and the rise of HIV prevalence. Water hyacinth is, most of you know water hyacinth from Lake Victoria, but water hyacinth is in more than 50 countries across the world. And it's originally came from South America, and we also have it in other lakes in Kenya, such as Lake Naivasha. And then another problem that you know of is plastic waste pollution. And plastic waste is, the problem behind plastic waste is because plastics are non-biodegradable. When you throw away your plastic, it's going to take 500 to 1,000 years to decompose. And so that's the problem behind plastic waste. Another problem is inorganic fertilizers. Inorganic fertilizers is a big problem when you come to underground water, soils, and even the plants, even the organisms that depend on the soils, because it's poison to them. It's poisoning slowly because it's also not eco-friendly. So solutions, how do we solve these problems? The problems of hyacinth, plastic waste, and inorganic fertilizers. So we came up with two solutions. Number one is an engineering innovation. We're going to, and number two is social action. We're going to explain this in detail. So in engineering innovation, basically what you're doing is you're going to make biodegradable materials out of water hyacinth to replace the conventional single-use plastics. And in social action, what you're doing is that you're going to be engaging communities and mobilizing people about responsible consumption and disposal. So I'll be tackling the engineering innovation, and my friend Charles will be taking on the social action. So the innovation, that's where we came up with the product that you've mentioned. We won the East Africa Youth for Climate Action because we are processing water hyacinth into biodegradable seedling wrappers that are going to replace the conventional use plastic wrappers. The thing is, in these ones, I hope you can see my cursor. These are the normal ones that we plant, the conventionals that you're used to when we are planting. The problem with this is that when you plant with this paper, you can't plant with the paper, so you'll have to remove the paper during planting. So that's when we came up with this. It's made out of water hyacinth. The science behind it, or the concept behind it, is that when you plant, you're going to plant together with the wrapper. And from what our studies have shown is that these seedlings planted by the biodegradable water hyacinth are growing 22 to 23% faster than the normal ones. This is because we are eliminating the shock that happens when you remove a seedling out of its original habitat. And also because when this water hyacinth decomposes, you're going to get nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, which are organic nutrients, and those are needed by the plants to grow. And that way, you're going to avoid the use of inorganic fertilizers, and you're going to have a flourishing plant. And as you can see on the right, our R&D is in the process of developing water hyacinth into the daily use products, such as the plates that you get when you go to parties, straws, and tumblers. Charles?
Yes, so we can move on to the social action. And so we realize that just a little bit. So now as we handle the social action, we realize that innovation alone cannot solve the problem towards pollution. So they need to address the consumer behavior and also the consumption, the human consumption has become an issue to us. So how do we address these problems we're experiencing today through the social action? So one we do is we started initiatives like Adopt a River, where we find ourselves, especially in Nairobi. We do river cleanups where we would select a section of between 20 meters to 50 meters. And then we do a cleanup, we do like data collection of knowing which companies do we really need them to address the consumer behavior. For example, we find some companies have a lot of their wrappers in the river. So we do use that to track back to know now from their production side, how well can they address this issue? And so that's as a way of conserving and protecting the nature, and also ensuring that through the responsible consumption, that we are also able to tell people about how well they can use now our biodegradable, that is the higher pack products. Then now this is where it all began about our story. And so you find on June 2021, before now we came up to all these, on June 2021, that was last year, we were on a class trip to Lake Naivasha, and somehow our boat got stuck in Lake Naivasha due to the water hyacinth. And we are water engineers, and these things really troubled us. So the same June 2021, we now are coming up with a solution of knowing how well can we now solve this problem, because after we had done our research, we realized that these water hyacinths from the locals, they said it has really impacted their livelihoods. So we really wanted to come up with our ideas, and we went to our lecturers who told us now, because there is no need of you going to Lake Naivasha now trying to extract the water hyacinth, for you to come back to school and later work on it, why can't you also try to use other aquatic weeds? So we carried some of the water hyacinth from Lake Naivasha, came back, and now we were trying to research on other aquatic weeds. And so that's when now we realized that now when we were scouting for other aquatic weeds in our botanic gardens, where we have some wetlands, we realized that the wetlands have dried up. And as a result of them drying up, it was because of the climate action that was in place. So how do we impact these now as a result of our wetlands in the school drying up? So we organized for a tree planting event that we planted over 2,674 seedlings. That was on a zero budget. And then now that's when we discovered there's a really big problem even around the tree planting events that we really started to organize. That you find now after we had planted trees, the plastic wrappers, we sometimes leave them and we dump them to the environment back again. So now that one transformed our project now from solving the problem of plastic waste, for that one is tackling the single-use plastics, to now us transforming our project towards how we can use now water hyacinths to make these higher packs. So that is the seedling papers that are used to plant our trees. So we now started our development towards that, and we came up with our project towards that. And so far, yes, that was by July. Then now October, well, we achieved our first results. That's when we planted our first test seedlings. We realized that we had achieved a 23% growth rate, of which it was good, and we had avoided using the plastics, that is the conventional plastic packaging that are used when planting trees. And also we did not use our inorganic fertilizers. So that's when now, when we achieved that success, we submitted the same project to the ICPAC challenge, and we were added for the East African Youth for Climate Action. And then now, after October, then now we decided now, because our innovation currently cannot solve this problem alone. That's now where we started our initiative of Adopt a River project. So far, we have done some around Nairobi and in Kibera slums. And currently, our R&D, that is research and development, is developing hyacinth into a range of disposable single-use plastic products like plates and tumblers. And yes, that is a success so far. And on the impact, is the impact we have had, we have planted now so far over 3,000 seedlings in Mau escarpments with a zero budget. Out of still the same innovation, we were able now to do the responsible consumption, where now we have fabricated and installed several dustbins around our university using recycled materials. The other impact is that we also won the East Africa Climate Action Awards, and also we have been able to mobilize and involve a lot of youth and communities in environmental awareness and river cleanups. So that is all. I was your presenter, Charles Kinyua, with my friend Joseph Nguthiru. Thank you.